Welcome back everyone to Eat Sleep Brief. This is week number 7 and 8. In today's video we are going to be covering 2 weeks worth of content. I didn't do any update last week, got really busy, but I still recorded. I always tend during the week to record some footage, so I at least have something to talk about that's going on in that week. So yeah guys, just sit back because today we got a really good update video for you guys. So this week, let's cover livestock. As you can see, there's been quite a bit of change, especially if you saw my last video that I did for week number 6. We went down to the wholesalers down in Los Angeles, and pretty much I went crazy with fish. As I'd stated, a lot of those fish weren't going to be in there. And here you can kind of see what my livestock is going to be for the near future. There is 2 fish that are going to be taken out. And I'll cover as to why that's happening, and also I'll cover why you happen to see 5 clowns swimming around. So let's get into it. Obviously you can see a flame angel. You can see him on the bottom right towards the center. You can see a cardinal just right above him right now. You can see 2 chromuses just above him. You're able, I don't know if you guys can see him, but there's 2 clowns on the right, 2 towards the center, and there's 1 little guy towards the right bottom center-ish, kind of. He's there, having fun. You can see a flame hawk on the top left rock. In this shot you kind of really can't see him. I mean, he's always just kind of going around on the left side. There's a red peppermint shrimp, or not peppermint, just a red fire shrimp on the right, and 2 cleaning shrimp. Those guys are just kind of always around, just minding their own business, really. You see the flame hawk there perched on the top. But that's pretty much it as far as fish are concerned. So I did go about ordering 2 very nice and very expensive premium Picasso clowns, I believe they were. I don't want to talk about where I got them from, just because what I'm going to say here next, I don't like to put down companies. If a company's willing to make it right, I don't feel I should talk about it as far as why I'm unhappy. So pretty much I ordered these fish. They were about $100 each, so it came out to, with shipping, about close to $250 for 2 clowns, and I was willing to pay it. But when I got the fish, it clearly wasn't the color that was stated in the picture. And I understand there's certain variations, but if you saw these fish in person, you'd see that the color is just absolutely 100% not there. Luckily, they were willing to make it right and take them back, so I went ahead and got 2 Da Vinci clowns. You can see there. I want to say they're B-grade Da Vincis because the stripe only connects on one side of them. On the other side, they just look like standard clownfish. And that's them. They're absolutely great. The little guy, you can see him there on the right swimming around. He's also a Da Vinci. Same thing. He's probably a B-grade just because the bars only connect on one side of the body. It's actually pretty cool if you see him. On one side they're a certain kind of clown, and on the other side they're a designer Da Vinci clown. You can see him there towards the center. Very, very nice fish. And all in all, the fish have been doing great. I really have no complaints with them. Obviously my livestock currently has 2 fish too many as far as what's going to be in there, so 2 of them are going to be taken out this week, and you will no longer see them. You're only going to see 2 clowns there. Surprisingly, they're all getting along. They haven't really been chasing each other. Of course, they weren't paired. Neither of them, any of these clowns are not paired, so they're not really territorial. They were all first introduced to each other here in this tank, so I really haven't had any issues. As far as the rest of the livestock, the flame hawk, he did eat a peppermint shrimp. Look at him right there. I know it was him. I mean, who else could it have been? I caught the shrimps eating the leftovers, but I can almost put any money down he was the one that killed a peppermint shrimp. But hey, it's part of the hobby. What are you gonna do? He hasn't touched any of the rest of the shrimp, so I'm gonna let him be, and let him be, the flame hawk he is. I mean, I absolutely love this fish. You can see he's very, very interesting. All right, so let's talk about what's been going on in the tank, and what I mean by that is dosing. Have I been dosing? My water changes, my testing schedule, or so on and so forth. So for the dosing, I have been dosing. I'm using the CChem brand. What's that brand? I think it starts with an A. It's a brand they only sell in stores, not online. For you guys that are reefers out there, and you know what I'm talking about. It starts with an A. Oh, I can't name it right now off the top of my head. Um, but you dose, it's called, one of the products called 8.4. I'm sure if you Google that, CChem 8.4, you'll see exactly the brand of it. One of them is 8.4. What that does, it maintains a pH of 8.4, obviously dosing it accordingly. And that's been doing a great, absolutely fantastic job. I have no complaints. The other one has been calcification, and that just adds calcium. That one I dose about once a week, and that's been doing great. I try to maintain my calcium between 390s to 400s, and I've been able to do that with that product. And the other product they make is a magnesium. I forget it. I don't use it much because my magnesium levels are always spot on this tank. So really haven't had to use that much. But yeah, so I am using a 3-part individual solution to dose the tank. The corals love it. Ever since I started dosing, I do see them happier, opening up more versus before. It was like a hit and miss. One day they'd open up good, the next day they wouldn't. So been having just really good luck dosing the tank. Oh, and the brand, I just remembered it. It's called AQUAVITRO. So yeah, I've been using AQUAVITRO and just absolutely great. As far as the water changes go, I've been doing them every 2 weeks. I noticed the tank doesn't like that. I'll cover that later when I do a closer look at the corals as to what I'm finding out by them not liking that. So yeah, that 2 week or every 2 week water change is going to be changed to probably every week. And that's just to keep up with it. I don't know if maybe because I added quite a bit of fish last week and I didn't feed them a lot, but maybe they pooped a lot, so who knows. Whatever the case is, I'm going to address that, get that taken care of, and change the schedule accordingly. For my test kit, my pH, I use the API test kit. That's good enough for me. For the rest of the test kits, I use Red Sea. And Red Sea, guys, it's just absolutely great. I really love it. It's like a drip solution. So it's like one drip will change the color instantly, and it's, you'll be off by a hair. In our hobby, when we're using it for, it's more than sufficient. And then I'm also using the Hana checker for the phosphorus. I've been using that with great success as well. I only check that about once a week, once every other week. I don't check that too much, but when I do check almost every other day is pH, alkalinity, and calcium. The rest of the stuff I don't check. I may be wrong. I maybe should be testing for other stuff, but at the moment that's what I check for every other day. And it's been pretty great. The tank has been pretty stable. I haven't had any complaints as far as something spiking. I am considering using Kalkwasser. It's just great how it's a one solution that takes care of 3 things: pH, alkalinity, and calcium. Because right now, I'm not going to lie, guys, the dosing is kind of kicking my butt. I have to be on top of it every day, every morning. It's on my phone. It alerts me. It lets me know that I got to dose it. So who knows? Maybe down the future I will try it. I'm going to keep doing this for probably another month and see how it works. Maybe once the tank starts stabilizing, I won't need to dose as much. But currently, I need to be dosing every day the 8.4 AQUAVITRO. But yeah, I've heard great success with Kalkwasser, as well as pretty much wiping out a whole tank with that stuff. So I'm very careful. I'm probably research a little bit more, and I'll let you guys know what I end up doing. All right, so now let's talk about the corals. I changed the lighting here just so you can kind of see them better. I know it doesn't look as nice, but the blues with the camera up close really looks nasty. So here we have a hammer. This thing's very, very easy to keep. I have really no experience, obviously, previously, and this thing's been super, super, super easy to keep. Moving on up, we have a frog spawn here. You can see also a sun coral on the left. These tend to open pretty much at night. A lot of these corals, you're going to notice they're closed up. I just did a water change, so they're kind of pissed off. Not to mention I turned up the light, so I come even a little bit more mad. But yeah, that's why you see them shriveled up. This frog spawn on the left is just beautiful. It gets super, super big. You can see to the right of that you have a torch coral, and then all the way to the right you have another hammer. Like I said, a lot of these are mad. One, because of the lighting I did. Also, the nitrates were a little bit high for my liking, so that's why I did the water change. And that's also why I'm going to be changing my water change schedule to keep them happier. You can see another torch coral on the very top. Also been very easy to keep. None of these have been hard to keep at all. They all open up very easily. And yeah, I've had great success with these. The only two I have left are the flower pot on the right, the Zoa on the very far right, and then the one in the middle, I got it for free on the bottom on the sand bed. I don't know what it's called, but that thing's been growing, so I'm going to translate that to, it's pretty much happy in my book. Alright, so I want to now talk a little bit about the Jager. I am going to do a full review coming up very soon because I'm ready for it. I understand this thing. I know it kind of like the back of my hand already. I know the combinations it does as far as circulation, and I love it. I kind of tried to go the power head route. I ordered a Jibo PP4 to kind of see, because the waves this thing makes is absolutely insane. I thought it was overkill, but after trying a power head, one of those GB PP4 wave makers, I mean, I don't know how people get around without using something like this. The movement of water this thing makes is just completely different. You get water movement everywhere. I was initially having issues with it. I'll go into that here in the next clip after this as to what I was having issues with. It's not the pump itself, it's the circulation I was having issues with, and I was getting too much flow going from the top right of the tank to the left and circulating in that motion. But I got that taken care of. But yeah, guys, this Jager pump, this is the 230. It's a must-have. I mean, even for this 45-gallon, a lot of people think it's too much, but I'll show you how I ended up fixing that. And I don't know how I'd get away without using this thing. It's just absolutely incredible. Right now I have it in pulse mode. You can kind of see it there with the torch coral on the bottom left kind of waving. And that's why I've had it for the past week. The corals have been loving it. I've been loving it, the fish love it, and just very, very happy with it. So the change I did make are here on the output nozzles. I forget the brand these things are. It's like a lock. Oh God, what is it with me and names today? I just can't remember any names. I'm sure if you go like to Marine Depot or any place online, BRS, you'll see these things. They're called something lock. But yeah, pretty much the way the JBJ sends them, they kind of swivel very little bit, like a few degrees in either direction, but generally they're always hitting the front of the glass. So what I was getting too much circulation going from the top right to the top left, going down and then to the right. There was just too much motion like that. The corals weren't liking it, which is why I tried a power head, and I don't even know, I'll never do that again. The Jager is just incredible. So what I ended up doing is swiveling both output nozzles to the right glass. So what that does, it counters the Jager a little bit, so it doesn't make it as powerful. Because what the output nozzles are doing, they're hitting the right glass going down and then sweeping to the bottom, across the bottom left. What the Jager is doing is going across the top left, hitting the glass, going to the bottom, and then going to the right. So what they do, they'll tend to counter each other, and it doesn't make the Jager as powerful, and it kind of cuts the flow a little bit. I don't know if I'm making any sense to you guys, but pretty much my corals liked it. I was a lot happier with it. So if you do have a JBJ, be sure you use these nozzles and you switch them around, because it'll really make a big difference. And you know, my experience, I really liked it, and you can kind of direct them any way you want. I'll probably mess with them a little bit later, but currently I'm very happy with how they are. One thing I did want to catch for you guys is the feeding and how I go about it. So here you can see I have the Camp Marine it's a feeder. I forget the exact name for it, but this thing extends to like 36 inches. Just check that out, guys. I mean, this tank, even non-extended, I can reach anywhere I want. So if you have a bigger tank or hard to reach coral, you can easily feed them with this. So here I have some mysis shrimp in the cup, so I'm just getting about, you know, a little bit of water from the tank, letting it thaw out, and pretty much getting it ready for them. So I think I do about 2 to 3 pumps of water in this cup. This is a special cup I use all the time to feed these guys. I let it thaw out and I prepare it. So what I do, I have the Camp Marine garlic stuff. It's a concentrated garlic. I know it's hard to see right here. The camera didn't want to pick it up with the blues, but it just, trust me, it is the Camp Marine garlic. So what I do, I get that stuff out, shake it really well, and then after I shake it, open it up. And you don't want to put too much, guys. This stuff is concentrated, so 1 drop is more than enough. Trust me, guys, you don't need more than 1 drop. This really gets the fish's immune system up. It's also good to get them eating if you're having a fish that's hard to eat, but the main reason I use it is just to get their immune system up. If there ever is anything in the tank, an outbreak or whatever, they'll be a lot stronger and probably will survive it a lot better. So yeah, once we get that out, I get some flakes. These are pretty much just the nutrition, Ocean something nutrition brand. I get these guys out, and what I do about 2 little pinchfuls in there. I let it all soak in so it picks up the garlic and everything, and the fish just really love it. This I only feed them every other day to every 3rd day, and every day or every other day they'll eat pebbles. Here you can see me mixing it up, and sorry guys, I meant pellets, not pebbles. But here I'm mixing it up. I really love the smell of the garlic. You can see me taking a whiff of it. And pretty much once that thaws out, what I do, I get the little Kent Marine feeder, swirl it around, make sure everything's nice and mixed up, and you can see these guys just really go crazy. They know it's feeding time. It's crazy, as soon as they see that Kent thing, you can see, look at that. Look at the cardinal. He's just so aggressive with eating. I noticed my cardinal fish doesn't eat anything but mysis shrimp. He won't eat flakes. He won't eat pellets. I mean, he'll get them and then spit them right out. Look at that. Even the hawkfish is outside eating. Look at them. Just everybody's having a great time eating. And it's really simple. It's great to see these guys happy and taking in food. I mean, I can only imagine how hard it is, sometimes to get a fish that won't eat, and just actually seeing these guys eat and thrive is just it's a great feeling. Look at them. The clownfish are just going crazy. Even the little baby clownfish, I don't know if you can see him. He's right by the flame angel, right there, right by the hawkfish. He's tiny, guys. He's like as big as my pinky nail. He's absolutely small. But I really love him. He's probably going to stay in the tank forever. Seeing something that small grow up is just going to be great. I don't think I'll ever be able to let go of him. But check that out, guys. Even the cleaning shrimp are going to town on this stuff. The cleaning shrimp just grab everything. That's one thing I do like about the cleaning shrimp. They'll pick up anything that hits the ground. They'll go and get it. Like if you have dead spots in the tank, I used to have dead spot, but now that I redid the flow and increased the gyre, I don't have them anymore. But I would notice they'd always go to that dead spot and just pick up stuff, that the rest of the fish weren't eaten. But typically I probably won't feed them the whole block, the whole frozen block. I'll leave just a little bit there. Because you don't want to overfeed either, because then that'll create its own issues, too much nitrates and algae problems and so on and so forth. So that's why this type of feeding I only do every 2nd to 3rd day. I don't do it too often, and the fish love it. The fish don't, they're not starving by any means. In the meantime, what they eat is pellets. You can see me here also going around to the corals. I try to not grab the actual food itself. I try and just grab the water, because the water has a lot of the stuff the corals like. So I'm feeding the corals like that, and they really like it. And you can see here, the fish just kind of pick up the rest, whatever's left over, and just eat it. And we're pretty much done with feeding frenzy, as I call it. All right, so I know today's video, guys, was a little bit longer than normal. But like I said, this was counting for 2 weeks. And so far, guys, I have been at it, especially you guys that are following me. I've been at it for 2 months already. And I like to give my feedback about what I think about the hobby. Has it been hard? Have I had issues? I want to say it's taught me a lot of patience, because with reef tanks, you need to be very, very patient, especially with corals. A coral is kind of like a plant. You can't one day go buy a plant and expect it the next day just to be, how it's going to be a few months or years down the road. It just doesn't work like that. So you got to be very patient. You learn a lot of chemistry as far as with the water, learning alkalinity, learning calcium, learning magnesium, just so much stuff. It's been a great learning curve for me. Has it been difficult to keep? No. Has it kept me busy? Yes. Do I enjoy it? Yes. The testing's always going on. I may be overthinking a lot of the stuff. I'm sure there's people who just set up the tanks and just let it be. I'm not that kind of guy. I like stuff done right. As you guys can see, my aquarium seems to be somewhat paying off. It looks happy. But yeah, guys, I've absolutely loved the experience. I would probably do it all over again if I had the chance. If you're thinking about getting a reef tank, I I would say just go for it. Just jump for it. You can do it. It's great. It's amazing. It's beautiful. Seeing something thrive in your tank is just really rewarding, at least in my book. But yeah, guys, I'm going to end up wrapping this up. I'm getting a lot more comfortable, so there is going to be reviews coming. Probably next video is going to be a review because I just feel very, very confident about my terminology, my reefing terminology, and just so much stuff I've learned in such little time. 2 months to be exact. Also, guys, be sure to check out my Instagram. I have an Instagram. I'm pretty social. I'm a pretty social guy, so you guys can go on there, chat with me, see what I'm doing, see what I'm posting that day. I tend to post every day or at least every other day. If you guys want to check out my Instagram, it's Eat Sleep Reef. So be sure to check that out. And also, guys, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them down in the comment box below. I love chatting with you guys. I love, hearing, even if you're an experienced guy, I love hearing what you're doing, how your tank is. If you're having any issues, of course, I'm, nowhere near professional, but if you are having issues, I can do my best to try and help you out and give you my opinion. Because especially if you're an experienced reefer, there's 1,000 different avenues to do the same exact thing in this hobby. And for you newbies out there, message me, let's talk. If you're thinking about getting a tank, or you want to know more about certain equipment, or you don't know what to get, send me a message, guys. I'll be more than happy to help you out. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for today. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe to my channel, guys. Really helps me out, really motivates me to push more videos. And that's going to be it for today, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And be ready for next week, because like I said, we do have reviews coming. You probably won't see much changing in the tank. I do have one little surprise coming in the next few days. I don't want to give it away yet, but I will have that for you guys and keep you guys updated. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Till next time.